This is
The Handbag Husband.
the Handbag Husband.
International.
Yay, international. So as you can see, we are here in the beautiful city of Venice, on our way in the process of doing our Hermes escapades this year here in Italy. And in fact, we are going to visit 4 different boutiques, Milan, Venice, as well as Florence and Rome. And we have a lot of experience with Florence and Rome, but Venice and Milan are ones that we haven't really been to in the last couple of years. And in this video specifically, I want to talk a little bit about the proverbial question that, every Hermes lover has when they step foot on Italian soil, which is, can you get a quota bag or a non-quota bag here in Italy, especially as a touristi like us? The beautiful thing about it is that we've already been to 2 boutiques, Venice and Milan, and not to spoiler alert, but we've already got some bags. So we're going to share that with you. We're going to talk about how things have changed maybe over the last couple of years as far as getting quota bags and non-quota bags here in Italy, and also talk about what I think the prospects for someone coming in without maybe a spend, just as a random stranger off the street, what those likelihoods and chances of getting quota bags and non-quota bags is here in Italy. Now, before we get to it, if you like these videos, if you like the Hermes conversation, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, because no matter what, we're always going to have some great bag candy for you, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really help the channel grow. And of course, we are so thankful for that.
Grazie tanto.
Grazie mille. But also because it means you get notified when our newest long videos come out, when our newest short videos come out, and all the stuff we have on the socials at Handbag Husband on Instagram, as well as on YouTube, because we have new Hermes content coming out every single week. Now let's talk about whether or not you can get a quota bag or a non-quota bag here in Italy. Yes, you can. So let me elaborate. I think it has actually gotten easier, but I think that you would need to plan for a kind of a plan to get it, right? They use that non-quota bag they use the quota bag as a...
Pause.
Yeah, pause.
Mary.
Hail Caesar.
Oh, protect the floor.
All right, so we are back here at the Airbnb because, as you can see, the weather in Rome is not cooperating.
This is not rainy season. It's
It was
not
so
supposed
beautiful.
to rain.
It was so beautiful at the Spanish Steps at the Fountain of the Ugly Boat. But it started to rain, and in fact, it started to hail. And in fact, some would even say it hailed Caesar. No? Hail Caesar? Somebody? Okay. So, as any good reasonable person here in Rome did, we decided to come home, drink some coffee, and get some delicious pizza from Roscioli's, which is right nearby the Airbnb. So let's talk a little bit about quota bags, non-quota bags here in Italy. First of all, for most of you, you probably already know, but for those who don't know, a quota bag are bags that have limits based on how many bags someone can get a year, a quota per se. And not everywhere has the same quota bags, right?
The rules and laws and what, rule, there's no wish list, it's like no quota, non-quota.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even like rules, it's like practices, right? They're like, oh, there's not a rule, because like Hong Kong, they're like, we have no quota bags, right? They're like, everything goes. Yeah, no wish list, no quota bags, no spend. London's like, you know what, Constance is not a quota bag, but Kelly and Birkin are. Yeah. And then Italy, specifically here overall, that we found pretty much all around is Kelly Birkins are obviously quota bags. Constance's are quota bags, but very, very loosely quota bags. Yeah. Right? I think that if you show the slight amount of relationship and spend, it becomes less of a quota bag and more of a hard to get non-quota bag.
I believe so.
Yeah. At least it's been our experience overall. So Italy, Kelly Birkin, definitely quota bags, but again, even that is just kind of a pony wall to getting those quota bags.
Sure.
Because again, if you can develop a bit of a relationship and a bit of a spend here, I think those walls get a lot shorter, a lot quicker as well. But we'll talk about it in a second. So overall, Kelly Birkin, Constance are quota bags, but there's some wiggle room there. So the other things aside from that are non-quota bags. So that'd be Rulies, that could be some of the Constance wallets.
I wouldn't consider that a bag.
That's true. Lindy's, Evelyn's, Picotins, In the Loops,
Her bag.
the banana. What was the banana? What was it called?
Okay, so again, the banana bag belt bump. Wait, banana bump belt.
I'll put a picture.
Sorry, so that one, that was the old one. That's what they call banana bag belt. But the new one is basically archive, right? So that's why it's called Move. M-O-O-V.
Oh, the Move. That's right. Yes, that's right.
So I know I call banana bag because so you understand. Like when I say banana bag, I was like, oh yeah, that's that one.
Yeah.
When I say Move, you're like blank, blank, blank.
So the other thing that's important to consider, and especially for folks who are kind of on the Hermes pathway, right? And maybe you've gotten a couple objects that you're looking for, is the fact that there are objects that are not quota objects in the sense that they're limiting how many someone can get per year, but they're also objects that are difficult to get or maybe difficult to get in your home boutique. So for us, things like the Zipango or the some of the Gigi's and stuff like that have been relatively difficult to get, but they're not technically quota items or quota bags, right? They're just things that are hard to get because they don't make that many. So that is another consideration because here in Italy, we tend to actually be able to pick up a lot of those things that we want to get that back home, for whatever reason, they're like, oh, we don't get them that often, or they're not available, or we don't meet whatever their criteria is for it. So I think that is something really important to consider that Italy is pretty strong on, specifically.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Italiano. All right, so let's talk about overall what we've gotten in the past is we've gotten both quota bags and non-quota bags. So we've gotten Kelly's, we've gotten Birkins, we've gotten
the pochette.
some pochettes.
Your Kelly's Depeche.
Kelly Depeche.
What else?
And your Kelly
Kelly
Depeche, the smaller Kelly Depeche that you have.
25.
So we've gotten a decent amount of quota and non-quota bags, both of them.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk a little bit about what the process for both of those are and compare that to how that is right now. Overall, I think one of the biggest considerations for quota bags and non-quota bags is which boutique you're going to, right? Because not all the boutiques here are the same. And in reality, the gap between a Milan and a Napoli are really vast. or maybe like a Florence and a Bologna, very, very big.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I guess what you need to know is like how many tourists are there in that, like how concentrate of the tourists in that area. Does it make sense?
It does.
Because most of the people who watch this video would be coming to Italy as tourists.
Yes, including us.
Yes.
Including
Hi.
us, yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Buongiorno. But so with that said, you also have to find a boutique that kind of fits what you're looking for, because each of the boutiques has their own varieties of bags and types of bags because they kind of serve a specific clientele.
Back to my point of if, say for example, let's talk about Milan. They know how to deal with tourists.
Dude, Milan is ready.
That's my exact point. Like if they know how to deal with tourists, meaning you're not gonna get lots of pushback of local, non-local.
Yes.
That's my exact point on that.
Yeah. Or maybe local, non-local, because they have such a good quality and a number of bags, they start applying the local and non-local at the higher levels of bags as they would in somewhere else, right? Whereas I feel like maybe like Venice is they apply the local, non-local limiter kind of at the lower level of bags. So maybe even just like normal kind of, Birkin, Kelly, Epsom, mid-sized bags that are counted. Whereas maybe Milan, there's like they have enough of them that like not until you get to Desord or not until you get to a more highly desired color or the makeup of a bag, that's when they start applying it.
I mean, sure, could be. I mean, the Holy Trinity, right?
Sure. And again, Milan, I mean, you just see it. You see so many people. Everyone coming in also has quota bags. These are not first-time Hermes consumers a lot of times. They're people who obviously have had some sort of relationship or coming back, because we just saw people getting offered bags all over the place. Sure. Another interesting aspect about the quota non-quota bag, especially when it comes to that Holy Trinity, is that not all sizes are created equal, right? Because, and this was new to us, we had not heard this before, is that from multiple of our essays on our Hermes capades, they had said that, yes, of course, Kelly Birkin Constance are quota bags, But when you start getting to the larger sizes, so basically anything larger than a 40-ish, or maybe like a 39-ish, then they actually don't qualify as quota bags at this point. They're still counting as just bags that are difficult to get because they don't get a lot of them. But someone could essentially walk in and, assuming they meet whatever the other internal secret criteria is,
Handshake.
they give them the secret handshake, could actually just pull them, which is great news for me and you, because we are big bag people, right? So I think that is really interesting to understand, is that if you are someone who's looking for a Kelly Voyage, if you're looking for a Birkin hack, something 50 or bigger, then the likelihood of getting those is pretty good. In fact, according to the essays, they get them not often, but relatively
It's not proven
often.
yet because we haven't gotten any.
We'll have to
So
see.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe next trip, not this trip, but
Yeah, so that for me that picks up a lot of hope. I'm like, oh, finally, right? Because I know back home they're like, ha,
You
go to
fool.
Yeah, there's no, you're not gonna get these bags. So it's a little too much bag for you. Well, so coming back to this trip specifically, let's talk about quota bag, non-quota bag 2024, right? Because obviously, if you're watching this,
this is not the election
yeah,
campaign.
that's right.
Hermès
2024, yeah.
You get a bag.
Yeah.
You get a bag.
Yeah.
And you get a bag.
A Birkin in every pot. But yeah, so I think that there's a couple of things. One is for us specifically. So we've gone to Venice, Milan, Florence, and Rome. And we've been to all 4 boutiques at this point.
I'm maxed out. I'm MSSK.
I think
not,
I'm
no.
Hermes exhausted. Hermes exhausted. No, it doesn't
No,
work.
we'll come up with something. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll do better with that. I expected better from me. But yeah, we are a little burnt out with the conversation and just, yeah, it's just that point. But the point being is that every single boutique that we've been to this year, we've been offered something.
Yes.
No quota bags per se, but some hard to get items, which I luckily was a win for the Handbag Husband. Finally got a business bag. But also, we got some non-quota bags and some hard to get items, which you'll see. We'll do a video about what we got. We'll do a video about what we turned down. We got a video of what we offered. So we'll get all that kind of stuff going in minute detail. But just understand that every boutique that we went to, no matter whether it's large or small at this point, they're offering us something. And maybe it's because we've kept a pretty wide kind of scope
I
of
guess
what
except
we're willing to
Rome.
have.
Except Rome. I was like, I don't know what else I'm gonna ask for.
You just ran
I'm
out
like,
of
I
ideas.
don't have a space
Yeah.
anymore. If they offer me something, yeah.
Yeah.
So Rome, to me, I didn't really like push for anything specifically. Yeah.
But I think Rome has some potential. It's just this time we didn't have a chance to really work on it. But yeah, so the thing is that we got offered quota bags. So if you are someone, and I've seen it in the comments, if someone's they're like, oh, if we're going to Italy, what's the likelihood of getting a quota bag, which this video is really kind of for? The likelihood is, I would say 100%, right? It's 100%
Quota
to get
bag?
offered something, non-quota bag.
Oh, non-quota.
Non-quota
I
bag.
think you said quota bag.
No, well, okay. Well, non-quota bag, yeah.
Non-quota bag.
It's 100%.
I give it 95.
I mean, sure, lightning could
I
strike
mean,
the boutique and it
if
closes
you
down.
want to buy steeple,
Yeah.
yeah, that is
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm probably sure that they're gonna offer you a steeple or the what's it called? Like the
A
canvas.
Trivet, yeah, Trivet one as well.
Sure.
We saw someone get offered Gita. We saw someone get offered Maximor.
Hi, that's me. Hi. Hi.
Yes. I was offered multiple Kelly Messenger bags.
Yeah. Two times.
Two times.
Two times.
And do we have something else? Oh, we offer some Constance objects, right? Not Constance bags,
Sure.
but Constance wallets. And
I feel like we didn't ask for like many things this time.
no,
Because Venice, I asked for one, I got one. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
yeah.
Florence, I didn't really ask for anything because there's certain circumstance. And we go bad.
I also think that because the nature of our collection, the way it's growing, is that the easy slots on the bingo card are getting put in, right?
Sure.
We're getting the smaller ones are the harder ones to get, and those presumably might take some more time. So, needless to say, we got offered a lot of non-quota bags as well as non-quota items, or maybe even difficult to find relative
For us,
back home.
I guess like for us.
Yeah, objects. So the question is non-quota bag. I'm going to say 100%.
95%.
If you come and you visit if you make the trip
round?
the rounds, right? If you do the rounds, 95% of them are going to offer you something.
And I think we only hit maybe only 50% of the stores in Italy. There are way more stores.
So 95% of the stores are going to offer you something, but if you go to the 4 different ones, it's a 100% chance you're going to get offered something.
We'll see.
Yeah. So that is the long and the short of Canyon. Now, quota bags on the other side is a little bit of a different story. Now, we saw lots of people get offered quota bags. And
Oh
in
yeah,
fact,
tourist, non-tourist, logo, non-logo. Yeah.
yeah, and we did not ask for any quota bags this time, right? So it's something that early on in our discussion with SA, we're like, hey, you can breathe out, bro, because we're not looking for quota bags. And he said, all right, what do you want then, right? Like that's where that conversation goes. But especially in Milan and maybe Florence, we saw those are the two places where we saw a fair amount of people getting offered quota bags, but this was not their first times. And so my feeling
Rome
is
too.
Oh, yes, right. That's
Rome
right.
also,
yeah, that's right. My feeling is that quota bags are easier to get in Italy than usually anywhere else, right? You don't need a lottery, you don't need an appointment, but you still need to put in some work before you get offered it.
I believe so.
I know that you had thought that in Italy, if you spend enough on the spot, they might actually offer you one.
Milan and Rome.
Oh, Milan? Yeah.
Milan and Rome.
Yeah.
I think those two locations you can just drop and get offered.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Maybe not Venice.
No, I don't think Venice.
Yeah.
Because they're big enough stores, they're capital city stores and flagship stores, Milan and Rome, that is, that I think that if you dropped enough money, or even over time, right? If you have a roadmap, you say, hey,
I mean,
look,
if it's over time,
yeah.
I would say any store is in Italy, you'll be able to get a quota bag.
Yeah, I think if you develop a reasonable relationship with any of the stores, maybe a little bit longer, depending on which one it is, like a Napoli might take a little bit longer.
Sure.
But if you develop a reasonable relationship and a reasonable spend, maybe you come once a year and just kind of hang out and spend a little bit. I think that in short order, faster and for less money than you would have done in the US, you could offer a quota bag.
California especially.
California, I mean. And then last, let's talk about the local versus non-local policy, because it does seem like there's a lot of gray zone here in Italy about where is local and non-local. And I think in our previous video,
When we were in Hong Kong?
No, when we were previously in Italy last year,
Sure.
but we had talked about local versus non-local.
We also talk about local and non-local.
but also like pseudo-local, right?
Sure.
Most of our essays when we talk, hey, how does that work? They're like, yes, there's a local versus non-local. We try to prioritize our locals, but some of the boutiques are more serious. Venice seemed to be more serious about saying, hey, we prioritize our locals more than non-locals. But some of the other boutiques are like, yes, we have both, and they're basically like, if you show up and you develop a relationship, then you can sidestep that local thing, even if you don't technically have like an Italian passport or a residency here in Italy. So
Local doesn't mean you have to be Italian. Local doesn't need to be you need an address here. Locals mean like you kind of around. You here, like,
Yeah, it'd be like a local at a restaurant, right? They show up and they're like, hey, how you doing? Let me get you your favorite dish or whatever. Doesn't mean you live in that area. It just means that you frequent that establishment and you're a local. And if you've ever been a local at like a bar or a restaurant, it's a pretty cool feeling, right? It is a nice, cool feeling. But sidetracked. So the point being is that if you show up, develop the relationship, I think that local, non-local thing, I think is really just a barrier they put up for one and done, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of people who just want to show up and buy a bag and then never come back, right? I think that's really what that's for. No?
I agree. Or try to think about what.
Or for the faint-hearted, they're like, no, local, and they're like, okay, bye then, right? Like they're trying to weed out all those people who either just want a one and done or who are not committed, maybe, right? Don't have the Hermes fortitude that they're looking for. And maybe from their side, to be fair, maybe that is a reasonable expectation if they want to develop good clientele, right? I get that. And maybe that's why the brand's so strong and et cetera, et cetera. So
could be like resales, could be because if like just one and done, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially on this trip, right? I mean, we heard people actively speaking about potentially maybe how they were going to not keep the bag for a long period of time in
Sure.
exchange for monetary value. I don't know how to say
That's
that.
just suspicion.
Yeah, but it's just suspicion. They look very suspicious. We made it. The Trevi Fountain. Da-da-da-da. So beautiful. It looks just like in the pictures. Good luck. Ta-da. So lastly, let's get down to brass tacks, right? Let's get down to the question that obviously you've made it this far for, is can you get a quota bag or non-quota bag in Italy?
Yeah.
The answer is, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Like I said, non-quota bag, 100%. If you go more than
95.
well, I'm less conservative. if you go to more than one boutique, it's 100%. I think. Yeah. Quota bags, I think.
But do you think it's because we are double, like 1 2 1 2, meaning like you get one chance, I get one chance. So when you go in one store, meaning you get 2 trial, and then when you go to another store, it's basically it times 2. So
Man, you caught me off guard with that one.
that's too many calculations.
It's a lot of calculations. I definitely think that us doubling up, just in general, is better, right?
Sure.
2 heads are better than 1. Oh, we'll have to. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one at the moment.
Bring your husband.
Yeah, bring your husband, or bring someone who can also act as a handbag husband. They don't have to be your handbag husband. They can be someone as an acting handbag husband.
Wingman.
Yeah, your handbag wingman. Yeah, so non-quota bag, obviously that's yes. Quota bag, also yes. I think a quota bag is yes. It's gonna take some work, right?
We don't know yet. We haven't proved it yet because I haven't
That's true.
gotten any yet this year. We'll have to wait and
But
see.
in past years we've had, it doesn't seem more difficult this
No,
year.
it does
right?
not.
It just seems that our criteria is getting more specific.
Yeah, I'm a bit
Yeah.
too picky now these days.
So yeah, it's okay. We're a little too picky in our old age here, so maybe that is contributing to it. But we also still have another trip later this year, so we'll have another crack at it with a little bit more time, a little bit more spend under the belt, and see how that goes too. So I still think that it's probably still easier to go to quota bag this year than it was last year.
I would say it's probably the same. Probably about the same. But it's just more of like we know what to ask for and just not to ask for, and in a sense, like we shouldn't be expecting quota bag in like every trip,
Yeah, and we don't.
That's pretty unrealistic. Or maybe it's realistic, but I don't know. I don't want to be greedy.
Yeah. I think that you need to get one quota bag and let it kind of marinate, and you hold it and kind of figure it out and stuff like that. Not because more than one is not good, but more of the fact that you gotta figure out where you want to go with the bag collection, right?
Yeah.
And every edition changes the whole Rubik's Cube calculation. And sometimes you like where it is or you don't like where it is, and it changes what it would be. So if you're buying 2 at a time, then that's double the equation. That's an X and a Y. And that's above.
You mean per year?
Yeah, that's above my math calculation. So yeah, I do think that it's getting easier, but again, I'm always optimistic, and you of course are kind of it's par.
I think it's par.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's par. Okay.
All right, so that is kind of our analysis after our barnstorming of the 4 boutiques here in Italy. That is Florence, Rome, Venice, and Milano. And I think that's hopefully this information is helpful for you all trying to plan out your trips. And trust me, I know you folks out there are planning trips to Italy because everyone is planning trips to Italy.
Everyone's here.
Everyone. Everybody.
Americans in, I don't know, half the state, they are here.
Yeah, they're here. You see
of the
so many
population.
New York hats, right? Or college sweaters.
I've heard, I'm from California.
Yeah, we've heard multiple.
Colorado, Texas, New York, everywhere. Every single American, I think they just moved here for vacation this summer.
Yeah, and you hear just in general Italian conversation, they're kind of like, oh yeah, there's been a lot of American accents around here lately.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Hi.
All right, so hopefully this information helps you out and kind of plan out what you're looking for and kind of plan out your Hermès escapades. so that maybe you can have the highest opportunity of possibly getting that quota bag you're looking for, or even the non-quota bag, or at least starting the relationship so you can get whichever thing you want. I think that would be the help, and I know this kind of video would have really helped us out early on, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, if you do like these videos, if you like the Hermes capades, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, and I mean this trip, we're gonna get to Milan, which is a bag candy volcano, right? It's just so much bag candy, but also Rome and Venice and Florence, they all had some great bag candy. That'll be included in this whole series, throughout the series, also our specific videos on the bag candies. But if you do like that, please don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help the channel grow, and of course we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grazie
Grazie
mille.
mille. But also because it means you get notified when our newest long videos come out, when our newest short videos come out, and all the stuff we have on the socials at Handbag Husband on Instagram as well as YouTube. We have new Hermes content coming out every single week. So that from the beautiful city of Rome, it is rainy and haily and siren-y as Rome is.